And it's showtime, according to StreamYard here. Welcome, folks. Welcome to the Tesla Talks podcast. It is the last week. I guess, what is it? How many weeks have been in July? It's hard to keep count. I think it's the last day in July. I know that July 30th. No, it's the second last day. There's one more day in July. That's tomorrow, but it's probably like the fourth or fifth week. I've lost track. Welcome to the podcast. We have a special guest on tonight. Just like every week, we try to get a special guest. We have the staple Franklin motherfucker here that he joins us here. Just like every day, he joins us. He's there unless he's under the weather. He's always here. But we have a special guest. His name is G from TesBros. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thanks for joining us. Now, unless you've been people at home, unless you've been under a rock, and unless you you buy your Tesla and you don't do anything to it, you must know about TesBros. I'm not going to do it justice by telling you the story. I'm going to let G tell the story about it. But in case you didn't know, they were called Tesla Bros at one point, and now they're called TesBros. So welcome to the show. Like I said, thanks very much for taking your time and energy out of your busy schedule. God knows you must be a busy guy, and joining us for an hour or so tonight as we talk Tesla and stuff like that. But like every special guest we get on a show, we take 2 or 3 minutes at the beginning of the show and just chat with that person just to get to know them. So I hope you don't mind, divulging a little bit about yourself or maybe your company and how it came about and stuff like that to the audience at home.
Yeah, so it's an interesting story because prior to TesBros, I was actually a university professor teaching journalism and marketing at Ole Miss. And I was teaching a winter session in Atlanta, and I was driving and love Atlanta traffic. I was literally stuck. And I was just thinking in my head, like, man, last night when my friend rode in my car, that was really annoying when he used the emergency lever. And back then, I think it was like they still haven't done the software where it would actually go down like the mirror if they use it. Now they fix a lot of that stuff, but that was the kind of initial problem that we're like, man, that's kind of annoying. So I started looking around, and there wasn't really much options, especially in the bigger markets. So for some reason that day, I ended up going to Joann's and Michael's and the craft stores. I pretty much had no experience in vinyl, and I said, hey, I need help. I have no idea what I'm doing here. And I pretty much asked for like all the vinyl in their store. And then I went home, I got a pair of scissors, and I started cutting stuff. And then just testing it, putting it on my car. And then that kind of evolved into buying a small Cricut. For those of you who don't know, it's a plotting machine, but it's a lot of, it's not commercial grade at all. It's literally consumer grade. Bought it on Craigslist for like $200. And we made our first design on Illustrator, and we printed it. And what was funny is I asked my bro, that's part of why it's called TesBros. I said, hey man, like I got this idea. You want in? We could probably make a few bucks here and there. And we made the product, and roughly around January of last year, we launched it on a Facebook group. And again, like we had no idea that people would be interested in what we do. And we kind of just said, hey guys, like I came up with a solution. Maybe you guys are, having the same issue that I have. But I'll sell it, just PayPal me like $7 or something and I'll send it to you. And I got one message, and then I got 3, I got 5, I got 15. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I guess this is an issue. So I had been blogging under TeslaBros.com. So we turned that into a e-commerce within 30 minutes. And then within the first 2 days of us launching it on the Facebook group, I think we sold like 300 door label stickers.
In the first 2 days?
Yeah, first 2 days.
Wow.
And it was phenomenal. And we were shocked, actually. A lot of adrenaline. And then after that, we launched a video on Twitter. My background is actually in video production. So I had edited a video about some of the issues, highlighting it. And we had no followers. I mean, 0 followers on Twitter. And like, I think Tesla already retweeted it. I mean, we were nobody back then. Like Inside EV, I mean, like all these guys like picked it up because they also saw it as a problem. So that was kind of like our initial start of how we came to be. But one thing that we focus on always it's still the same pillar to this day. Is literally maintenance, um, customization, um, and then the other one is maintenance, customization, and protection. So those three things are the three pillars that we focus on, and we try to do it in innovative ways. So after the door label, our second product was the center console.
Yep.
I had bought one on Amazon, and gosh, I failed bad. That was really really difficult to put, and I failed actually in putting it on because back then they told you to actually grab the vinyl and stretch it across a cup holder, and then like doing all this stuff. And for a beginner, that's really impossible to do.
Was
So
that the Ken Rico one?
I'm not gonna say brands. I prefer don't like say anything bad about other people. I
No,
don't really
that's
do
fair.
that here.
So
But
the reason why I
yeah.
ask is because when I got mine, that was the only one available, and
Yeah.
his product was actually like I remember stretching it, but I have mine. I have that one on my car still, and that was a really good product. So
It was.
it
It was.
it was a challenge to put on. Your system is like I honestly it took me like 2 or 3 hours to install it on my car, and then I saw your product, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I'm not saying anything bad about his product. Like I loved it. Ken Rico's product was amazing, and it was the first one to market. But you like really simplified the installation. So hats off to you, and just the way you designed it and everything is amazing. So
Thanks. It helps. Like Enrico's product is, and I really respect the guy. We've interacted a few times, and I really respect the guy. He really, like you said, he brought it to market, and he's done a lot for the community. But I came from a non-vinyl background. That was my biggest strength, to be honest, because I exactly knew how other people were feeling. So I said, there's got to be a better way. So I looked at it. I have, I think, a talent of solving problems in a very different way. That's kind of like my big role here. So I just kind of put it on paper and say, all right, what can I do to, here are my tools, here are the type of vinyls that exist, here are transfer papers that exist, and then I kind of like pinpointed what the issue was. And then we came up with a solution. And, once we launched that, people were like, wow, this is easy. And that was kind of the start of, I mean, we focus on customer experience so heavily. Not only just like customer service, we were looking at like when people get it, then how are they going to install it and how are they going to interact with it, and they have to be successful. So we stress a lot of that in product dev, but also in every aspect of our business.
Wow, that's like maybe not overnight, but that's a very good and interesting success story. So that's great to know. Like I mean, I've watched you come up and grow and grow and grow, but I didn't know the behind the scenes, how it actually took place. That's a very interesting story. Yeah.
hey,
Thanks.
we have a question, G, for you. Do you plan to have a Chrome undelete kit for the Model Y, or you don't want to talk about it?
Actually, we do have a design made. I have the Model Y, and I have like played around with the design already. The issue though is Chrome is significantly expensive. I mean, you're talking like sometimes 4 to 8 times more expensive than normal vinyl.
Wow.
So if we were to make even, any money or even be at least a little bit profitable, it has to be very expensive. So, we have to do our market research and see, maybe in this people are going to tell me that they do want Chrome. Or I don't know. I don't really know the solution, but we do have we have a working design. So it's kind of in thought for sure.
Good to know. And that's Chris is from Dirty Tesla is the one that started the whole thing. I just put it in there. He said when you saw the Model Y was blacked out with the trim, were you like, oh, come on?
Not necessarily. I'm glad that Tesla's like, all right, this is what looks better, because I think we all know that Chrome Elite, it looks so much better. But at the same time, like the Model 3 interior is almost the same, right? It's almost identical. So it wasn't a big like, oh man.
Yeah.
But we have been thinking about ways to innovate in the Model Y space.
Yeah. Jason says you can just use tinfoil if Chrome's too expensive. It'll do the job.
Yeah, I can't guarantee anything, but like you say, we'll do the job.
Yeah.
You've also expanded into different things beyond just wraps. Like you have PPF now and some other stuff, which is really interesting. So,
Yeah, I sort of cut you off there, Franklin. I love like what Franklin was saying earlier. I think what sets you apart is how you have your ease of application of like installing. Like you've got it down to a science, and you said that's one of your talents and traits. So it's good to know because. And just your layout, I've seen your Chrome Delete kit and how you do the mirrors and stuff like that. I had mine. I wish your kit came along before I had mine done through a detailing, a subcontracted detailing shop, and they did a good job. But the mirrors are just so like hats off to you how you designed the and cuts and pieces and all that for the mirror, because that mirror is a bitch to do and to keep down with it folding and everything like that. I've had mine redone. What, this is the third or fourth time on each side, and it's only been 2 years. Yeah, it's just the nature of how it's designed. It just doesn't sit. So for yours to sit down, that's
Dax, just to let you know, I've had mine on for just over a year, and it's been just as good as since the day I put it on.
And you know what I said?
And that's his product. Like, and full clarity. Like, I paid for all the products. Like, I paid for all of them because I love them. Like, your products are amazing, and
you should.
I'm a big believer in supporting companies that innovate and stuff like that. And there's a whole thing on Twitter this past week, which I retweeted. You want to support the companies that create stuff because those are the ones who are going to keep bringing you really good products, right? So always go for the people that are bringing you, like the people that are with the minds and doing these creative things like G, right? So, but
yep. Yeah, and you know what? The detailing company, and it's no secret anyone that knows me. The detailing company I had my car done was Inception Automotive Detailing here in the GTA. But full disclosure, when they first did mine was one of the first cars that was Chrome deleted in the GTA. So they weren't into Chrome delete and vinyl. They're just into PPF. So they do it now. They do it now in-house on their own. But because it was so new to them, they'd actually outsourced it to another company, like a subcontract, to get it done. So in all fairness to them, it wasn't them that did it. If now that they're doing it, they do a better job. And that's why I said to Lorenzo, I said, if this doesn't work this time, I think I'm just gonna rip it off and get the TesBros one. So like full disclosure. So like I said, it wasn't a bad job, but it just doesn't stick for some reason. Over time, it just keeps coming on. And just so everyone knows, speaking of full disclosure, I sound like a broken record. I'll have everyone know that this isn't a sponsored video or podcast. TesBros isn't a sponsor of us or anything like that. Up until I'll have you know, actually, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast. Up until how far are we into this now? Where is okay, 13 minutes in. Up until about 5 minutes before, so about close to 18, 20 minutes, I didn't know who was on the show tonight. I left it up to Franklin. Like I said in some of the other podcasts in previous weeks, Franklin seems to become my default scout, talent scout, or special guest scout, because he's lined up a lot of guests for me when I've just been too busy during the week and stuff like that. So he said a couple days ago, if not last night, he said, leave it up to me. I'll get someone for the show. And I said, okay, no problem. And I said, you know what? Just get whoever you want. I have full faith in you, and I trust you fully. And he goes, I'll make it a surprise. I was like, sure. So I didn't know until about 20 minutes ago who was actually on the show, and I was happily surprised. And it's great that you're on. So what I meant to ask you, you mentioned something about the Model Y. So is that what you currently have now? A Y?
So we actually have a Model 3, a Y, and an S.
Oh wow!
And we mainly use it all it's all test vehicles.
Yeah.
I probably have a new center console at least once a week. We're testing designs and we're always trying to reiterate stuff. So like you're talking about the Chrome Delete. Back then we didn't even have a warehouse. We didn't even have office space. I made that in my home garage. I mean, that was about 8 weeks of constant iterations, and we're already looking at reiterating that into version 2. I know a lot of people have not necessarily problems, but we also think that every product can be better. So that's also in the works.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the dying question now. Obviously, you can't test on it yet, but what's your thoughts on the Cybertruck? Do you plan to do anything crazy with it, or?
Great question.
Yeah, I mean, so I kind of tweeted like the other day. I think trucks are Teslas in the South. You have a truck. I mean, trucks are like 90, 80, 80, 90,000 here, and it's like having a Ferrari or Tesla, right? So I can't wait for the Cybertruck to come out and just destroy all those other ones. But I would definitely wrap it. I think I'm gonna go mine with something like a deep matte black. I think that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about putting some sort of lift, so it's gonna be massive high. I mean, it's gonna look bad. So I have a lot of ideas of what to do on the Cybertruck. I think it's gonna be phenomenal and a lot easier. I mean, it's a Polygon, so we're just really excited for the Cybertruck. And Austin's not too far where Cybertruck's gonna be made, so I'm also excited for that.
You said you're in Georgia, right?
So we're actually in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Tennessee. Sorry.
Yeah, we're only like 15 minutes away from Georgia, actually.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow, Tennessee. It's funny you said. I mean, my ignorance for geography is going to come out here. So please correct me if I'm wrong and out me completely. We were actually, before COVID hit and everything, we were actually planning a trip down to Tennessee to the Smoky Mountains. Family trip. Yeah, we saw it online. We had some friends that have been down there, and they said it's an awesome family vacation and to take a road trip. And we just went out earlier in February to Disney down in Florida, and we're like, oh, we can do that. We can go to Tennessee. If we can go to Florida, we can go to Tennessee. So we up until the COVID hit, we were about to come to Tennessee. So we'll have to put that on hold for a little bit, but we'll definitely try to make our way there.
One last question for you, G. Is this is from Mark Lindsay. Is the outside paint wrap of the car the same material as the inside console wrap of the car?
Yeah, it is. So it's actually all 2080 series now. 3M, came out with it around last year, and they're just really good for interior and exterior. They're weatherproof, as you guys know. And it's really the best material to use. There's really 3 brands: Avery, Oracle, 3M. I mean, those are the top brands. There's others like Hexus and Isonitic. It's a very hard word, but it's just the most reliable. So yeah, it is for interior and exterior.
Okay.
And Jason makes a comment about the Cybertruck pillar delete.
Yeah, for sure. I think it needs to be pillar deleted. It just looks so much better.
Yeah. Speaking of, well, before I segue this, thanks very much for getting us up to speed and telling us a little bit about yourself and your history of the company and stuff like that. Like I said, folks at home, this is not sponsored, but like Franklin said, we only talk about good companies that are reputable and we would stand up for. So if you were a company that I didn't believe in, and I'd like to say I'd like to say I wouldn't have you on, but I didn't know you were coming on, but but you're still on, so the show's not over and you're still on. And
I'll throw something else out there too, and I have one as well, but I'm not even going to say mine. My buddy Moss just got a affiliate code for TesBros, so if you guys want to help him out, if you're actually buying anything, it's Moss Garage, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just if you're gonna buy something, throw in his code Moss Garage, and there's a discount applied. So, and you can help out Moss a little bit. And again, that's just my buddy, and I just want to help him out. He just got one, and he's also a really big fan of yours. So
yeah, and if you're into GTA and you don't trust yourself in installing any of it, Moss is an awesome installer. He's not even a professional or a licensed installer or whatever, but yeah, he does such a good job. Yeah, you might as well be a professional, right? Mm-hmm. But
his OCD is like such a benefit. And him and I, we work together to do the installs, right? So what we can do a Chrome delete in a pretty quick time. I think under 3 hours now we can do a full car Chrome delete, which is pretty good.
That is good.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not like we're doing it rushing through. Like it's like the way he works is like spotless. It's amazing. So, yeah, just shout out to Moss. And again, non-sponsored. He's just a good friend of mine or ours, and he does excellent work. So,
Yep. And we had him on a few weeks back or a few months back. Did we not?
yeah, we invited him, kind of like how Tesla invites manufacturers to use their software.
Yes, actually, you know what? It's funny. I was good at it. Yeah, okay, let's do that one. Moving on to unless you had any more questions for G, guys in the chat or Franklin, yeah, we'll move on to the news.
If there are any, I'll leave them for the end. I'll collect them. If you guys have any other questions for G, just drop them in the chat as we're doing this, and we'll save them for the end.
Yeah, exactly. But Franklin hit the nail on the head, and he alluded to the first topic that we have up in the Tesla news. Elon just out of the blue today, of course, and you know it's typical Elon. He got on Twitter and he was responding to a Teslarati tweet, and this article is from Teslarati. Teslarati had this article about Tesla-obsessed German automakers look to solve a multi-year tech deficit. And we all know that we read all these articles and stuff like that in the last little while that Tesla is, and it's actually getting bigger. You think it'd be getting smaller, but people are realizing more and more that Tesla has this big gap or big lead between other traditional car manufacturers. And it's, like I said, you'd think it would be getting less and less as they starting to figure things out, but they're actually, as they're figuring things out, they're realizing that the gap is actually further, and the honest ones at least are being honest and coming to the table and saying, yeah, you know what, it's not 5 years, it's 6 years behind, or it's 7 years behind. And anyways, in this article, the news isn't even about the article and the deficit. The news is about Elon's response. He said Tesla's open to licensing software and supplying powertrains and batteries. We're just trying to accelerate sustainable energy. We're not in it to crush the competition or competitors or anything like that. So that was, I think that caught a lot of people off guard. I mean, yes and no. If anyone knows Elon's history and Tesla's history, they all know that, you know, the whole motto for the company is sustainability and forwarding that vision and stuff like that. But that went on to say, he went on and he started talking about it's not just battery and powertrains and stuff like that. He's actually going to do software and license software. And then some other guy on Twitter named Sam Lopez at Sam_Lopez XX, and that's, people have such sometimes strange Twitter handles, which is all cool. He asked a follow-up question to Elon, saying software also as in autopilot, and Elon said sure. So can you imagine? I'll give you my take on it, but I'll ask you guys in the group here. What do you guys think about Tesla licensing autopilot software to other manufacturers?
Okay, I'm going to give you a totally different spin on his answer and to why he said what he did.
Spin away.
Okay, so, and this could be like totally off, and if I'm off, let me know. But he said we're trying to accelerate sustainable energy, not crush the competitors. And he used the word crush the competitors. Do you know what's been happening with all the tech giants in the U.S.? They've had a hearing on monopoly power.
Oh, yes. That was just yesterday, right?
Yep. So it all kind of ties in. So those guys have like a massive monopoly on their different fields, right? They had Facebook there, Google, Apple, and Amazon. And they've just had a hearing that they want to split up the company because of the monopoly. Do you think Elon's smart enough to put out this tweet to say, hey, we're here to help the competition because he realizes they're headed towards a monopoly and this is going to help him one day in a hearing, like in 10 years from now when they're sitting down with Elon saying, hey, you own all the battery tech. You own all the car tech. Like,
this is why I have you on, Franklin, because you think of the things I don't think of. That is, buddy, that's brilliant. I mean, it could just be a coincidence, but it could be very, calculated with what's going on. Yeah.
There's also Bollinger Motors. Who tweeted them, and he said they put like the little hand up emoji and they said, hey, can we use your superchargers? So there are people interested.
Oh yeah, Bollinger replied. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that standing offer has been on the table for years now, and it's surprised. Like I can't. I mean, one part of me says I'm surprised that nobody has come to them and said, "Yeah, we want to use your superchargers." But then I'm not surprised because just the arrogance of these traditional automakers and how they don't want to get in bed with Tesla. They never gave Tesla respect at the beginning, and now in the last year or two, they're actually respecting them and seeing that they are for real. Before then, they wouldn't give them the time of day, right? But it surprises me because, well, like I said, it doesn't surprise me because apparently some manufacturers have approached. It's not like none. It's not like nobody has, but some I've heard in the past have approached them, but they didn't like Tesla's deal. And Tesla's deal is very simple, from what I understand. This is how our supercharger is. You're not changing anything. You're not changing the software. You're not changing the design. You take it for what it is, or you leave it. And you know how these big corporations are, right? They want to get their hands involved in everything, and they want to change things to manipulate it to work how they want it to work. So I'm not surprised that they come to the table, make these demands, and then walk away.
I wonder though, because the stipulations of those deals have never been actually public. It's always been Elon tweeting like, "Hey, yeah, we're willing to work with others." So I'm kind of curious. Yeah, it's just speculation, and I find it really interesting or fascinating or disappointing, however way you want to look at it, that no one's actually taken them up on the offer to this day, and there has to be a reason for it. So is what Tesla's demands for them to actually be able to do that too high? Who knows, right?
Yeah. Jason says here that he, meaning Elon, I'm thinking he knows that battery day is going to kill the competition. So yeah, maybe this whole battery thing and battery tech, it's like, yeah, we'll license it to you. The old tech, we're not going to license the new tech to you. We'll license the old tech to you. So maybe, yeah, that's what he's thinking. And of course, Mark says legacy autos want Tesla to just go away. Yeah, they wanted Tesla to go away years ago when they first came on the scene, and they were small and everything. Not to say Tesla's big now, but they are still small. But now they want them to go away for a different reason. They were a pest to them before. Now they're a threat to them.
And well, it's because they're able to update so easily, which makes a world of difference, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like how G's updating his products, Tesla updates theirs to improve it and make it better.
You have to. You have to update on the fly.
And it's the small things that make a world of difference, right? Like showing the right color of Teslas around you as you're driving.
Yeah. Oh, buddy, you are on fire tonight. You're on fire, and you're actually catching me off guard here.
So smooth.
Yeah, I know, so smooth, and yet I can't even catch up. Okay, what Franklin is trying to say is our next topic is where is it? See, you've totally thrown me off here.
All right, so the next topic is
right here. I got it. I think I got it from our friends Drive Tesla Canada. This topic or this article is once again, I think, another Elon tweet, and we'll scroll down and talk about it in a second. Basically, what Elon wants to do, and he sort of, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, alluded to this a few months back about bringing some kind of almost like a novelty game where it's like a punch buggy game where you see other Teslas and stuff like that. But yeah, so what he's saying now is like the little car, let's say a Model 3, for example, the car that when you're in autopilot and you see that's on your left of your screen, that car represents you. And yeah, it's in the same color and everything like that. But what he wants to do is, if you're next to a Model S, it'll illustrate and depict the Model S next to you in whatever color it's in, like actually like a real representation of real life around you. I know I'm not doing it justice, so I'm just going to scroll down here to the tweet. Whole Mars catalog. Now this guy or this girl, they've been on fire lately talking about Tesla stuff and getting Elon's ear too.
It's Omar.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
See, once again, I did my research, and this is what I found out. Thanks, guys. So it's Omar. Okay, interesting. He said, "Hey, Elon, will Cybertruck have custom model in the autopilot visualization?" Basically, like, are we just going to see regular pickup trucks, or is it going to be the actual Cybertruck? Tesla, and then Elon responded quickly saying, yeah, display will also soon render Tesla specifically as their model and color instead of just a generic sedan or SUV. Has potential for a fun, punch buggy sort of game. And that's what I was talking about. He had mentioned that a few months ago, talking about some kind of turning this into some kind of game. So it's these little things. I'm going to shut up now, and you guys can chime in and tell me what you think of that. Like, is that something that you guys would invite or not invite, but welcome? G?
I think any software update I can welcome. It's like Christmas every time there's an update.
So true.
So, G, you're definitely, like, you with all the vinyl stuff, you're going to love this, to be able to experiment, like, one car to the next to see if it actually picks up all the color changes.
Yeah. So is this a visual cue? Is that what they're doing by visualizing the color by visuals?
Scroll up, Dax, you should be able to see, they did an excellent job with Microsoft Paint at showing what it should look like. And if you can zoom in a little more, you can actually see like the blue Tesla there on the right. Like the cars are definitely in their lanes there. Excellent work. All jokes aside, this website's amazing. It's become one of my favorite go-tos for Tesla news. So shout out to Drive Tesla Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, Darren does a good job. Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, they just keep getting better. I mean, I don't know. I've run out of things, and I'm not as imaginative, I guess is a good word, as many people out there, even you guys here on the panel tonight, obviously. I've run out of things to think what would be cool, what would be a good update or a new feature or tweak for the car. But thank God that the whole Twitter sphere and everything is out there, because you guys and girls out there, you're just feeding Elon stuff, and maybe it's not even feeding me. Maybe Elon and Tesla team have these things, planned in the future down the in line and everything. So maybe it's just a matter of time before these things come out. But it's like I'm running out. Is what I'm saying. I'm running out of things to think about. But leave it up to them. They're doing a good job of it.
So Dax, I'm sharing my screen. If you want to pull it up for a sec.
Yep, sure.
I wonder if Tesla's going to give me some royalties here. And just full disclosure, I've kind of stopped development on this because I just haven't had time. But if you scroll down here, there's something called the play game. And you can actually play, like, as you see them in your car, obviously you can, like, click it. And you can actually click off the cars that you've seen, all the different Model S's and 3s and
that's cool.
So on and so forth. And you can also go by Canada, US, and you can click all your states. So it's kind of like what they want to implement. Or what Elon alluded to. Just I implemented it first, so
So you made that yourself?
Yeah, that's on my web app.
Oh, you didn't scrape that from somebody else?
No.
Oh, cool.
No,
I didn't know.
That's on my web app. So I actually coded that based off user suggestion when I was active in development of it, and just like a fun way to I spotted a Tesla, and you check it off the list, right?
You were so far ahead of them, buddy. They should give you something. They should hire you to work for them or something.
They've offered.
I know. That's why I said that. Okay. Do you want to get to the Cybertruck? This weirdo on Twitter talked about the Cybertruck and the reservations.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's talk about that. The weirdo I'm talking. Oh, sorry. Never mind. Tesla mother frunker. Anyone ever heard of him on Twitter? He's always on there. He tweets a lot. Anyways, he tweeted, and all jokes aside, if for anyone that doesn't get my joke, because my humor goes over some people's heads sometimes, we're talking about Franklin. Franklin is Tesla mother frunker, in case I haven't mentioned it at the beginning, in case no one knew. He mentioned back yesterday. It was yesterday. You know what? Why am I telling your story? You tell your story.
So I've been following the Cybertruck reservation numbers for a while, and it's not like an exact science, but there's a number, and if I can have it here, it's here somewhere. Hold on. I wasn't really prepared for this topic, so I know how you feel when I do this to you.
I skipped. I'm sorry.
But yeah, okay. So the number is 112,744,100.
Can you be a little more exact, please?
Yeah, that's so that's the first number that reservation started with for the Cybertruck. So if you take your reservation number and you subtract that number from it, that's where you are in line. And it's not an
Really?
exact science. The numbers do go in order, like that's confirmed.
Sequential?
However, solar is attached to it, as well as wise. But
really?
but the number is substantially higher than the million mark, and just based off the number of wise being delivered in terms of the time frame, you can kind of deduct, you can kind of get a pretty accurate estimate. There's a website called cybertruckowners.com that has like a really in-depth spreadsheet. But basically, if you just go by simple math, they're over a million or close to a million. Like they're at the million mark. Because I think they're like 200,000-300,000 over the million mark. When I checked, that's the highest reservation I've seen. And
how many?
They're like 1.1, 1.2.
Oh wow.
So you got to say like they're pretty damn close to the number. So when I tweeted it, I was kind of hoping for Elon to actually like say like, oh yeah, I can confirm this, right? But that obviously never happened. And that tweet generated way more likes and retweets than I imagined. Because for me, it's more like, yeah, this is really cool. At the same time, I don't know how many of those are going to take delivery. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think?
Well, that's that whole debate. Yeah, what do you think, G?
Yeah.
How many? I take it you have a reservation.
Yeah, we do. We actually had 3 accidentally when it first came out.
Oh, somebody actually beat Franklin.
Yeah. I was like, how many did you have, Franklin?
I have one of each trim, so whichever they deliver to me first.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I live in the South, so like I go back to that, and like there are a lot of people who are interested in the Cybertruck, and some of them also made reservations. So I feel pretty confident that once they see it in the wild and people are starting to get delivered and stuff, they're gonna go, wow, this is pretty cool, and I feel like a lot of them will convert. Kind of like the Y. I think a lot of owners with 3 kind of have that same like FOMO a little bit, where they're like, man, the Y is so much better. It's like, should I sell my 3 now? And then, they're really interested, and then, or they upgrade to a performance or a dual motor right now. And a lot of them are waiting for, hopefully a cheaper version. But I feel like that's going to happen. The same thing. I think it's even going to be more popular, to be honest.
Yeah, it's taken everything, the whole industry by storm. And I say that, and yeah, to answer your question, Franklin, and I've always wondered this, and I have a pretty good opinion of how many people will actually, bite the bullet and actually go forward the order compared to how many. Okay, so let's say for a nice
10%.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, some people are saying that low. I thought I was being skeptical and I was being pessimistic when I was thinking earlier, like, when it wasn't even 500,000 orders. I was thinking maybe like 50-40%, so basically half and half. But yeah, I've heard some people estimate it as low as 10% too. But I would think, I'm still going to stick around. I'd say 40%, maybe as low as 30-35, but 40% I think are going to go through with it, which, even if you take the million and you take the high number as what I just said, 40%, that's still 400,000. That's still, that's Model 3 territory.
So I really hope the number's low just so I can get mine quicker. Because I know all you guys in the South, they're going to get yours way before us, which is unfair. Okay, because I want mine just as quick as you. But
what's your reservation number?
Like 15 to 20,000 ish.
Okay,
it's pretty low, but not low enough, obviously, because I live in Canada. So I don't expect to get it very quick. But I think so. Tesla did it smartly, and it was smart and dumb on Tesla's part. So by putting it at $100, they made it cheap enough where anyone can go on and reserve, and then they can share it out with their friends and be like, "Oh my god, look what I reserved!" Right? Well, this futuristic-looking crazy vehicle, and they can share it on social media, and that spreads, and more people will see it and get to know it, and so on and so forth. So from a marketing standpoint, it's brilliant. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people were reserving for the sake of saying, "Hey, I have one," and they don't actually plan to take delivery.
Yeah.
So It can go both ways. I'm excited. Truthfully, I want the tri-motor. But if they have the all-wheel drive, like they're saying originally, that's what was coming first, and then I know they change their tune. I'll take whatever they give me, right? But tri-motor is my first choice. Kind of like my 3. I wanted performance, and the only configuration I had was long range, rear-wheel drive. Like I was very, very limited. Like my order page was like, pick your color, right? Yep. So.
Oh yeah, they're early. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. You know, it's funny. You even tweeted that out yesterday, and anyone at home knows that Franklin and I are good buddies, and we talk, obviously, not just here on the podcast, on a daily basis, off air and stuff like that.
Unfortunately,
about different things. What the heck? Really? Are we gonna have this in front of everyone? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm out of this, guys. You
I
guys
know.
deal with that.
So what I was trying to say is that it's surprising the amount we talk. I never brought this topic up to you. You never brought this topic up to me. But just last week, I was talking to another Tesla-related friend that Franklin knows, and his dad just put in an order for a Cybertruck. Late to the game, I get it, and he knows he's going to be one of the last to get it and have to wait the longest. So we think, who knows? He may be one of the first. You know how Tesla ordering goes, right? You know how it goes. Did we lose G there? Yeah, we lost him there for a second. Okay,
he'll be back.
No, he's here right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that.
No worries. And he was the first to tell me, buddy, you know they're about 900,000, and I'm like, no, and not that he didn't believe me. When I said no, I meant it like in disbelief. But he was quick to send me a screenshot of his dad's reservation number, and I had to compare it to mine because I haven't looked at my reservation number in a long time, since November. I looked at it and it's like, it was like, I'm thinking to myself, if they are sequential, and it's a good point you bring up, Franklin, and how you came to that. I'm thinking to myself, it's going to be up there close to 1 million. And I was going to actually mention it to you, Franklin. And it's like I said, it's just ironic and funny that we never we never discussed it with one another. And then this first time I see it was yesterday in your tweet. So so I knew they were close, but I didn't think they were that close. I didn't think they made it over.
I can't imagine if all 1 million are taking delivery. I cannot imagine getting the truck in the first 2 or 3 years of it being out. It's just not going to happen. Like, why would they ship it up to Canada if they have that many orders in the States? And
true.
From logistics, it just doesn't make sense. So, if that happens, I'm coming to visit you.
Yeah, please do. Come visit, pick up your Cybertruck here.
Me too. I'm coming to just because I was
we'll
going
to go to Austin.
There you go. Road trip.
They actually, Elon Musk said that he's going to be putting some chargers there in Smoky Mountains.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, another reason to go.
So even better. Well, hey, let me get my charger real quick. Bob,
no
you
problem.
guys keep going.
Sure, no problem.
If you only had 20% better battery power, ADEX.
Oh, you know what? I wasn't even paying attention when you said that. But yeah, and of course I had it ready, and then I took it off when I actually was going to change the screen. But yes, 20% battery power if you had an increase, sort of like what Panasonic wants to do. Now, when I read this today, the first thing I thought is oops, Panasonic sort of screwed up. Did anyone else get that feeling that Panasonic sort of let the cat out of the bag accidentally?
I wonder if they talked to Elon before, letting this out.
Yeah, because in a nutshell, anyone that didn't read the article, so Panasonic came out today. Was it a tweet? You know how I do my homework, right? No, I don't think it was a tweet, but they were talking about the 2170 battery cells, and they're planning in the next 3 to 5 years, to increase the energy density by 20%. So that, and anyone who knows, Panasonic is a very big player with Tesla in the battery development. So they're basically Tesla's partner when it comes to batteries. Now, what I was saying is that did they screw up and did they let the cat out of the bag? What I'm meaning is, does this have anything to do with Battery Day in September? Which I really hope they don't. By the way, I really hope they stick to the September 15th date and they don't postpone it again. But with all the stuff going down in the States and the numbers rising, I just don't know. I mean, didn't Texas just have a stellar day for cases? I don't want to dwell on that, but anyways, what I'm just trying to say is I hope things get better, and I hope they don't delay the battery day presentation anymore. So getting back to this, what Panasonic has wanted to do is make a cobalt-free version of its battery in the next 2 or 3 years. And with the less cobalt, it won't be as dense, but you can get more efficiency out of it. And they're saying by 20%. Now, it's not going to happen all at once, as we know. It's gonna be a linear increase. Like next year might be a little bit, and then the following year will be a little bit more. And what they're planning and what their goal is to do is within 5 years, 20%. So when I heard this, well, you know what? Let me stop talking for a second and get your opinion on it, guys. What do you think of the 20%?
So I think because G's not here, you have to add him back in.
Yep.
I think the 20% is not bad. It's a pretty realistic goal if you think it's a 4% increase each year for 5 years, right? So it is incremental and it's achievable. That's what I think. I don't know much more to say about it, but
yeah. Well, I did a quick number crunch because I'm a mathematician here. I'm just kidding. And I know our cars right now get, and I'm not saying it's going to be our cars, but let's just take a typical Model 3, for example. If right now it gets 300 miles, which is 500 kilometers, you add 20%, that's 600 kilometers. It's an extra 100 kilometers in 5 years. That's great. Like, I mean, that's close to the 400 mark. It's about, what is it, 370 miles or something like that. So yeah. So it's close. Well, I say 360, but official numbers for the Model 3 is what's supposed to be like 315, 325 or something. So it'll be closer to probably 370 is what I'm thinking. But yeah, I mean, they're close to, and they've broke the 400 with the Model S, as we all know. And I think this is what Elon's game plan is. Like, we know with the Model S, how with the Raven motor or the model, that they broke the 400 mile mark, not by increasing the battery and the density and anything like that. They did it all on weight and, skinnier tires and stuff like that. So maybe that's Elon's thing. It's like, we're going to get higher mileage, higher range, but we're not going to increase the battery packs. We're not going to, because I think Elon had mentioned at one point months ago or years ago, maybe even, that he doesn't plan on doing anything over 100 kilowatt battery pack. Now, that could have been just for the S or the X or the 3, because we all know with the Cybertruck, they're probably going to have to go over 100. Like, if they don't go over 100 and they're getting 500 miles out of that tri-motor, that'll be unbelievable. So what I'm saying is I'm pretty sure they're going to have to go over.
Mark, as always, brings up a good point. I don't
Mark
think Tesla.
always does.
Yeah, he's awesome. I don't think Tesla will keep the same numbers of cells in their vehicle. They will target the same range and lower the cells needed, since there's more energy per cell, less cost per weight.
And weight, yeah, you're shedding weight now by making it smaller. You're not putting the same battery pack in, so it's cheaper. Yeah, that's brilliant, and that's exactly what I think they may do.
Another potential option is to just make a cheaper car. Like, remember how he said it a long time ago that he wants Target to have like a $25,000 vehicle. If the battery, like, if they keep optimizing and it gets cheaper, they're going to be able to achieve that goal eventually. Like he said, he wants everyone to be able to own an electric vehicle, and at that price point, like, who wouldn't, right? So.
Yeah, and he alluded to that last week on the investor day. What am I thinking of? The call, the earnings call. He alluded to something in the pipeline. Can't really get into details about it. Wanted to save it for the reveals and stuff like that. But he said, what was the term that he used? He said I forget what term he used. Basically something like the two vehicles that will make most sense. I think something along those lines. I forget the exact wording he used. But yeah, like Mark says, they may go smaller pack, which is going to be lighter and it's going to be cheaper. Or what they could do is keep the same pack, same price, but now you've got more mileage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Also, on that call, he said that they needed to. I don't remember the exact words again, but they need to fix the nickel problem. Do you have anything to say about the nickel problem there, Dex?
Jesus, you're just flying through this, buddy. Yes, and that's a good thing you brought up, and we're bringing it back home. Anyone that knows, anyone that watches us, if you don't know, Franklin and I are from the Great White North, where it's snowing in the end of July. We're in Canada. It's not snowing. It was 32 degrees Celsius today. So, yeah. When in that call, Elon was calling out. He basically put a call out to any mining company that wants to mine nickel to basically mine as much nickel as you can, because they're in high demand for it and they're going to need it. And if you can do it, in an environmentally friendly way, they will give. How was Elon's terms? We'll give you a lucrative long contract or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of money. He said a lot of money.
Yeah, basically a lot of money. So this company in Canada, this nickel company, and according to it's called Nickel Canada, pardon me, Nickel Canada Nickel Co. I guess that means company. It's a Toronto-based nickel company, and they're actually on this the stock market. And their stock, I was talking to my buddy Ryan. My buddy Ryan's the one that first got me onto it, and brought it to my attention. Don't quote me on this, but before the announcement, their stock was, I want to say, like within 70 or 80 cents a share. And then after, it went up to like $1.50 or $1.70. And then the next day it went up to $2.90, almost $3. And now it's settled down. It's about $2.50 now. But just from the announcement alone, it went up a lot. And anyone that had it in when they were just under $1, and had some substantial money in there, they're doing pretty good right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But of course, when I started looking at it, it started going down, because that's just what happens when I look at stocks.
So do you hear that? Dax is shorting this company.
No, I'm not shorting.
You heard it here.
Jinxing the company, because I'm not a stock person. I don't even know the right terminology for it. I'm not a stock guy, I guess. You can say it. So whenever I look at something and I'm thinking, this got potential, I should know by now to just stand by and don't do anything, and then see what happens and pretend in my head that I invested in it, because what's inevitably going to happen, it's going to go up and then it's going to go right back down. So traditionally, that's what's happened. Full disclosure, I used to have Tesla stock and I don't anymore, and I'm kicking myself. And every time I say it's too late to get in, I kick myself some more 2 weeks later, because it wasn't too late. Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys wanted, you know what, I won't even ask you. I was going to ask you if you have stocks, but if you don't have to tell me, not on the show, you can tell me off air. It's not a fair question to ask you. So this nickel company, I mean, there's not much to say about it. Basically, in a nutshell, they answered Elon's call and they got a contract. Do you know any more about it, Franklin? What this contract was all about?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know as much as you do.
Okay.
Truthfully, I just know that they said, "Hey, we can do it."
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
that's the extent of my knowledge on the topic.
For anyone that doesn't know, here in Ontario, we have a town, a northern town. It's not a town. It's like a small city called Sudbury, Ontario. It's about 4 hours north of Toronto. Pretty cold sometimes up there. I have some friends from Sudbury, and they have caves and mines. Are they caves? I guess they're mines.
So,
and what Sudbury is known for is their nickel.
Just a quick correction. They don't have the contract. It's nothing was signed. It's just them saying we can do it, right?
Oh, showing interest. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So just them verbalizing it and saying they're showing interest affected their stock so much like that. Imagine if they sign, and when they do sign. Wow.
Correct. So they plan to build the facility, but plan on having zero carbon footprint. That's Ryan Nerds for Hire who just said that. So.
Oh. Oh, Ryan's in here?
Yeah, Ryan's here.
Who invited him? Oh, yeah, here he is. Yeah. So, your bad luck pass. He says, because we were talking about it a couple days ago. He says your bad luck for Oh my god, I can't even read it. He's a joke. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't
ever
think
tell
there's
me
much.
anything anymore. Ryan.
There's not much more to go about this story, but do you want to go to our last segment of our talk, which is stories?
Yeah, stories.
No, like if you don't have one, don't worry. Like, don't make one up like Dax does every week.
What?
We know.
How'd you know that?
Did you want to like Dax? You start off. It's your okay. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna get you to start off, but I'm just gonna introduce it while you're thinking of your story, Franklin.
All right,
it's my show. You don't tell me what to do. No, I was gonna say what we do every week for the last few weeks, folks, is we just try to end off the show on a little happy, light note type thing. I mean, the whole show is light. Is we don't get really intense and in depth here. It's all light. But what we try to do at the end off the show is just talk about our week, our last 2 weeks, if we had any test related fun stories or anything like that. Sorry, I was backing away from the mic there for a little bit. And just, share with the audience if our special guests have any stories they want to add, they can add it. If they don't, like Franklin says, no pressure. Nobody's compelled to do anything. But, we are paying you good money, G, so you should have a story. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. But no, Franklin, all right. We'll give you a second, G, if you want to think of something. Like I said, you don't have to, but we'll start with Franklin.
All right. So let's go back, 6 months ago when Dax purchased. I made merch for my logo just so I can buy it, and I put it on a website and I made it as cheap as possible, just because I wanted to buy it for myself. I didn't expect anyone to buy my merch, and then sure enough, it became a joke online, and Dax ended up buying a sweater. So since he started this podcast, and I think this is the 28th one we've done, or 29, we've done a lot of them 22. Every week. Really? We haven't hit 25 yet? Okay, whatever. We were over 20. So every week in the chat, Dax is like, ask questions. So I just drop in the chat, hey, when is the Tesla Talk merch coming? And I ask as if I'm a fan. And he ignores my question every single episode. Every single week, he refuses to answer. And I wanted Tesla Talk merch just so...
I can't hear you, Franklin, anymore. For some reason, I don't know. I can't hear you. Can you speak
Don't
up?
mute me, okay? So I took the liberty of, if you notice, I'm in the top right. So if you're watching on YouTube, or you can actually see, I'm in the top right, or I was. And I basically turned off my camera so I can get his logo in the top right. And I took a little screen grab of it, and I threw it on a shirt, and I put it on the same website where I can buy mine. I blew up the quality so big, so it's not crystal clear, so it's kind of funny. But since Dax didn't want to do it, I now have
all right
my own Tesla Talks merch. And I know Mark already noticed it in the chat today, but yeah. So
did he?
Basically,
Mark noticed it?
yeah. So basically, that's my story. I created my own merch for myself.
No, you created my merch
because Dax won't let me buy it from him.
No, I haven't.
I basically he wouldn't give me the high res logo either. So I was forced to take a shitty logo, a shitty copy of the logo, and then superimpose it and blow it up. So that's my story.
Thanks.
I have this now.
Now I can't make this for kids. Thanks very much. No, okay. Backstory here. Yes.
Why is it pink? It's not pink. It's red.
It's just the camera. Yeah, it's supposed to be red. Yeah. Ryan, you just see pink. No, Franklin, what he said was correct. But to answer your question, Franklin, I'm just, I don't have time, and two, yeah,
we're going from A to 2.
Yeah,
Look at this guy.
And two, I just don't think that I need to have merch at this time. Maybe, you know what? Okay, here's the thing. When I hit 10,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, and I know I'm close, but it's slowed down. I don't know if it's COVID or just my lack of interesting content or my ugly face, but whatever it is, I can't get to 10,000. It's slowed down. But when I reach 10,000, I'll start doing some merch for my friends and family. That's about it. I don't know. No one else is going to buy it. Franklin, and I've told you, Franklin, once when you told me last week that you went and got the screen capture of the logo and everything, I said, buddy, that's going to be crappy resolution. Here, I will send you, what is it, the PSD or whatever version that I have, the high res version. And you're like, nope, I want to keep this one. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I like the low quality one. It's kind of funny. It kind of adds to the whole story, right?
Yes, it does.
Should have made it like 8-bit or something.
Oh, I should. Okay, I'll order another one. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Truthfully, so the only reason why I did this for myself, and I don't want to sound egotistical, I used to never go in front of the camera. Like, used to only be my hands. So I found it really hard when I used to show up to like Tesla events and stuff. People would never know who I was. So they like watch my channel, but then they would never see me. So it's hard to know who I am. They'd just be seeing my hands all the time. So I wanted to buy like just the logos, just so people would say, "Oh, that's who it is." So they put a face to the name, and that's the only reason why I made it for myself. And then it just became a running joke, basically. So that all I do is sell T-shirts, which, yeah, I mean, whatever. So, Dax, you have a story? That is mine.
Oh, that uncomfortable silence, eh? No, you know what? I really don't have an actual. Well, what I will say, and I made a video about it. I made a couple videos, but I made a video about the new update 28.5. Thank God for that. I know I said it in the video. Thank God for that extra 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. Here in Canada, it's 10. We cheated a little bit. We got an extra mile, 1.2 miles. So yeah, it's been a blessing. I can actually use the stoplights and street traffic lights sense or autopilot now, and not feel like I'm going to be rear-ended by something. It's actually makes it. And it's such a small little thing, but they actually make it usable now. And it's great. I love it. I love it now. It's like, now I feel minus, and it's, of course, we know it's beta, so it's not perfect, but minus it making a left-hand turn or making a right-hand turn at an intersection, I feel like I'm actually being driven to work, or the car is actually full self-driving. It's not just, on the highway with navigate on autopilot. It's actually, it just feels very futuristic. But that's not my story. What I was going to say is I've got these, and I didn't even come prepared for this. I've got these liners. Somebody in one of my Facebook groups is sponsoring me for a month. So, and he's selling these. He's actually selling Model Y mats, but he sent me a pair of these Model 3 mats where it's a liner. And full disclosure, I have Chuck's mats, and I have friends that have the 3D Max Spider, and they're good mats. They're great mats. I love my Chuck's mat, and for the coverage and how they feel and everything like that. But I put these ones in. I was a little, not that I was skeptical, but I was a little, how can they be better than the Chuck's mat? Well, he sent me a set of these. They're front for the drivers and the passengers, and then there's a one long piece for the back seat, and it's a liner that is fully protected. Like, it comes up to the door sills, that when you close the door, and you can put it under the rubber seal of the door. Like, it's full. I wish I had these at the beginning then, because my kids wouldn't have scratched the back seat of that the plastic area by the footwell where the carpet ends, because it fully protects that. And then on top of that, they've got he sells these 2 additional mats, like carpets, that go in top the liner. One is a carpet, I guess you can use for summer use, and one is more of a winter one, but you can also use it in the summer. I've got it right now in the summer, inside for the summer, and it's called a coil mat, and it looks almost like a woven kind of plasticky rubberized material, and it looks almost like a Brillo pad, and it looks like it would feel like really harsh on your foot, but if you were to take your feet off and go bare feet. But it's so soft, it's actually softer than the carpet. It's weird, and you have to see it in person. Anyways, long story short, I'm trying these out, and we're going on a long road trip to probably Ottawa next week, do a family, which by the way, we're not going to be having an episode next week, taking some family time. So we'll be here back in another 2 weeks. So I'm going to test these mats out and see how they do in a long road trip and for like 2 weeks. But so far I've had it for about a week, and they fit great. The design and how they were laser cut fits like a charm. and they feel really comfortable. I wouldn't be able, and now with these coil mats, what I was going to say, and I know it sounds like an ad, but it's just a Tesla story. That coil mat, what it's supposed to be in the wintertime when you get like snow on your boots or your shoes and stuff like that, and you come into the car and it melts and it goes down into these woven little coils. So they're not on the surface, so you don't get your pant legs wet, or the water when the snow melts collects in there and it gets trapped in there, so it doesn't slush around as you take corners and stuff like that. So I won't be able to test that part out, but anything else I'll be able to give a good test. Maybe I'll take a liter of water and pour it in and see how it does. So that's my story. A little it's a company, and did I even say the name of the company? It's called teslamarket.ca. If you go to teslamarket.ca, that's where you can find the mats or the liners, and I'm testing it out. Don't go buying it yet. Let me do my follow-up video to give you my full 2 or 3 week review of it. And even that's not a full review, but I'll do the best I can and let you know if I like it. But so far it looks promising and I'm liking it. It just like the protection.
Drive Tesla Canada. I really wish there's someone out there that does vinyl products that can create some kind of protective vinyl / PPF for that area. So, geez,
yes.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
Geez, like, wait, I came on here to talk. You guys are giving me product ideas and all these questions.
So that's actually one of the earliest ones that's coming out. I think most people sort of know this, but we're coming out with the rocker set, which covers all the bottom part, but also a little bit higher up because that's a high impact area. But we've also been working on exactly what you were talking about, Dax, that plastic area is PPF for that area, but for the front and the rear, because we see that as an issue too. And especially a lot of dads and moms have been asking about that. So we've been working on that because we understand like that is an issue. So sorry, Darren, we're doing our best, but we actually lost power like the past 2 weeks. We had some power issues, and that's when I was like, man, I wish I had solar, or man, I wish I had a power wall.
Really?
But now it's all fixed. We're kind of back on track, so we're gonna get back to work and launch that.
Hey, Dax, just real quick so we don't miss them, okay? And if I mess up the name, my apologies. But Priva said, I may have missed it already, but is Dax going to get the Model Y now that they added long-range rear-wheel drive?
You know what? I'll have to wait for see what the price is like first, because I'm guaranteeing that I'm going to get the Cybertruck. So depending on expenses and costs and stuff like that, because originally what I wanted to do was get rid of my 3, even though I love it, and get a smaller SR Plus, like a standard range Y for my wife. Now that there's not going to be a standard range, depending on what the price of the long range real wheel is going to be, we'll see. I'd like to, but.
Okay. Sorry. G, did you have any interesting stories or experiences or anything you want to add?
Yeah. So I think most Tesla owners have done this with their friends, but we recently hired a detailer. He does all our paint corrections, most of it, and gets a car prep before we install, PPF or ceramic coating. And he had never been in Tesla. So he's like, how many miles? He asked the basic questions like, how many miles? How do you charge it? And it's like, why would you get this? And, I just told him, all right, like you can ask all these questions, but let's just go for a ride. So we had a performance Model 3 all decked out. And, I didn't even tell him what's going to happen. So I said, we'll just go for a ride. And once we got on the strip, I floored it. And this guy's eyes just, went back of the head. He freaked out, started swearing like, a bunch of words that isn't probably welcome here. And he's like,
can't be worse than Franklin.
He's like, let's do it again, And so we went second round, and he was just amazed. And he's like, this is fast. This is probably the fastest vehicle I've ever been in. So, I think it's a really fun moment whenever you get your friends and your people kind of introduced to that technology, and then kind of break all that myth. And it really takes one drive. So I think a lot of people can relate to that kind of story that they've done to their friend or family.
Yeah.
100%. My next neighbor told me, he's like, but aren't those slow? So I ended up taking him for a test drive. Now he's looking into getting a Model X. So,
Yep.
yeah.
I hope you made him sick when he has to go slow.
He was he was afraid at how fast it was going. He's like, whoa, 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 you gotta slow down. Like, just totally blown away. So I can relate 100%, as can probably almost everyone listening, right? So
Cool. We have a question that you were gonna put in the queue. Do you want to? Do this one?
That one was retracted.
Oh.
Basically, the question was, with Tesla service, do you see a light at the end of the tunnel? And that was the question that was there, but the question was deleted. Do you want to start answering? I tweeted about this today, actually. I still think I love the car. I promote it. Big fan of Tesla. Big fan of what they do, the tech, the batteries, everything. Service is still one area that they need to definitely improve on.
Definitely.
So I think the biggest problem with service, honestly, isn't like service people they're all really nice. I mean, they're people, right? At the end of the day, and they're really nice and they try their best. I think that some of the policies in place and management and lack of communication is the biggest thing that holds them back. So, like, I haven't had my car in the last week and a half, and it's not the fact they don't have the car; it's the fact that they have really poor communication, or they say, "Hey, I'm gonna communicate with you," and then they never follow through. Is the biggest problem with service currently, at least in my opinion. I think if they communicate, that'd solve a lot of their problems. Because then customers want to be sitting around being like, "Hey, what's going on? What are they doing?" I think people would be more accepting as to how they're going about their work, right? So,
yeah, no, it's true. I echo everything you said there, buddy. Because they're great cars, great technology. That's where they fall short. And delivery.
I agree with that.
And I had to bring mine to service, and I brought mine to service. So I got the update that just went around and everyone was talking about a couple of days ago. I got that well, yeah, if you want. I got that actually last week. No, that's okay. I got it last week, and while I was recording the video for that, that's why I had to bring my car to service. So I'll have that on my channel as a video. I'll talk about the whole experience. I never released the video of the update because that whole update video turned into like an absolute expensive nightmare. So, yeah.
Any of you Law and Order fans, he's going to do it in a Law and Order style video.
That's the plan. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how well that works.
You'll see. You mean you'll make it and put it out there and leave it unlisted and see if it gets demonetized or copyrighted?
No, I don't care if it gets demonetized as long as it doesn't get copyright strike, because I don't want my channel to get removed. But I don't care about the monetization.
No, yeah, you won't. I can if that's that's cool that you say that. And if that's what you're worried about, only you won't get a copyright strike. They may not monetize it, but that's what the extent. Yeah.
Truthfully, like, I don't care about that too much. Like, I've made the one with Mark where he was singing with the Backstreet Boys, and that one made it through. So we'll see.
Oh, Mark. Yes.
One last question for you, Nerds from Hire. Does TesBros do 10 millimeter PPF?
Well, not millimeter.
I don't know. 10 mm.
He means 10
mil.
mils. Yeah, 10 mils.
I can check. We work with a bunch of distributors. So there's a few others out there other than 3M, but I know that XPEL and 3M are most likely, they're actually 12 with the backing, and then once you take it off, it's 8 mil once applied. So I can look into it. You can probably DM me on Twitter, and then you can follow up and see if I find anything. But I know that they offer, other manufacturers offer it other than 3M and XPEL.
Yeah. And I think the XPEL Stealth is probably 1 or 2 mil thicker than the rest, apparently, from what I've been told. You can't get thicker than that, man, unless you use cardboard.
Well, I don't know. I thought he wanted 10 millimeters. I thought he wanted it really thick, so I don't know what to tell you.
It's
You just put
right.
like saran wrap and just keep wrapping your car until it becomes 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Get the measuring tape out.
Mark saying TMI. Anyways, if people are listening at home and you're wondering who we talking to other than the three of us and why are we answering these questions, we do this podcast live on YouTube. So if you want to be on YouTube and interact with us and ask your questions, stuff like that, feel free to join us. What I usually do is I put a tweet out or something on Facebook the day of, or sometimes if I'm on my game, I'll put it out the day before and let you guys know that it is coming up. And you can set your watch to it, set your calendar to it, and join us as we do it live on Facebook, or you can watch Facebook on YouTube, or you can watch us later on YouTube after the video has been published and stuff like that. But if you don't want to see our ugly mugs, speaking for myself only, you can listen to us just on a regular audio podcast. We have it on TuneIn, we have it on Spotify, we have it on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. So any of those 4 streaming, which I think pretty much debatably, I think, or for argument's sake, is probably the 4 top podcast things out there. You can get it all there. Just search for Tesla Talks and it'll show up. And that's how you can find us. If you just don't want, like I said, if you don't have time, you can just listen to it in your car as you commute to work, or when you go for a run, or whatever you do around the house, you can just listen to us at your own leisure. Franklin, you have anything else to add?
No, not for today.
No?
Do you want to do our... Okay, so Dax, actually, where can people find you? Social media-wise, website, plug away.
Yeah, you could follow us at Tesla Bros. It's actually still Tesla Bros right now. All our social channels is there. Or you can find us at TeslaBros.com. And if you want to reach me, you can email me at G, which is spelled J-I, at TeslaBros.com. So I really appreciate you guys having me.
No problem at all. We appreciate you, like I said earlier, taking your time out of your busy schedule and coming on to join us for a little bit.
Dax, where can people find you?
People can find me on YouTube under Dax M. You can also find me under Bailey MC on Facebook and Twitter. I don't, you notice I don't have one of these standard across the board easy names like you guys do. They're all fractured and, different names. What was I saying? Twitter, you can find me under Tesla Talks, and I'm guilty to say that I'm hardly ever, but seldom on Instagram. I'm guilty of not being too active on Instagram, but I'm on Instagram at Tesla Talks. I think there's an underscore somewhere there. See, it's because I'm so unfamiliar with it because I hardly go on it. So I apologize for that. Basically, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And we lost G again. Did you say something to G when I was talking?
No, nothing.
What did you say to the guy?
Nothing, no.
I'm just kidding. Where can people find you, Franklin?
Right here at my house.
Okay, thanks for watching. No, come on, seriously. Where can people find you?
M Frunker on Twitter, Mother Frunker on YouTube, and yeah, that's pretty much. I have other social platforms, but I don't use them. Just Twitter, M Frunker, and YouTube, Mother Frunker. I've been going through my backlog of videos I made like 6 months ago, and I've never got around to publishing. So, yeah, enjoy that content. It's great.
Yeah, and
no, it actually is good content. It's nothing wrong.
It's awesome. Yeah, I don't know why you're not publishing it.
I just been so busy to even like make thumbnails and write descriptions and stuff like that, and editing. And
you know what you need? You need an editor.
I do, yeah, and.
And I'm not saying me. I don't have time.
Dax is volunteering.
No, I don't have time to edit my own. No, I'm saying I'm trying to help you.
He said he was good at media, right?
Yeah, media production.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you think that guy's not busy? He's busier than both of us put together with his company. Yeah.
So, yeah, as always, guys, I said in the chat, like, thanks for everyone who comes out and watches them live because it makes it so much more entertaining and. It's better for us because like it's more live feedback and we get so many better questions and things like that. So it's a lot of fun and
the interactiveness is awesome.
Yeah, just a better experience. So
it is. It's true. And we even have somebody listening from all the way camping up in Killbear. Killbear is a campsite up in Northern Ontario here, if anyone's not familiar. So someone is camping and watching us or listening to us on YouTube. That's awesome.
We had Mark from the UK pop in. I don't know if he's still with us.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
We guys, Franklin and I say it every week. We can't be any more appreciative that you guys take time out of your schedule to join us on these live ones. And even if you don't have time to join us on the live ones, I appreciate you just listening to us on the podcast or on the YouTube stream afterwards.
Thanks, G, once again for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I'm so glad that you came out, and your story's so interesting. Like I learned so much that I never knew before, and I talked to you a fair amount. So yeah, it's really cool. Thank you so much.
Did you have fun?
Yeah. It was
okay. That's the key. I don't want you guys to come on the show and at the end of it, it's like, oh, those guys are a bunch of boring. No, I'm glad you had fun, and hopefully you'll be back on soon
for sure.
All right,
pleasure,
so
appreciate it.
The final message: I'm visiting G when he gets a Cybertruck before me, and we're gonna have a party there, checking it out. I will be there.
We'll wrap it. We're gonna have a wrap party.
Yeah, it's a wrap party. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Oh, sorry, you gonna say something?
No, that's it. Take care. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching. Yes.
Yeah, I know the outro here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Tune in, not next week, but the week after. I have to go camping next week. Going to Ottawa next week, so don't tune in next week. No podcast next week. I'll let you know. I'll post it on my social media. Thanks for watching, guys. I don't want to waste any more of your time. Your time is valuable. Take care. Goodbye.